Hello, 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 my friends. Welcome to the show. My name is Rocky Outcrop. We've got a great show coming up. Good morning to all of you. I hope you're doing very well. It is, of course, the morning before you go and start trading and doing all of your wonderful activities to improve your own life, like it is every morning. So welcome back to another successful day in your mission towards personal success, personal achievement. Well done. My name's Rocky Outcrop. I do this every day. I'm a professional trader, and I have decided that a greater mission in life would be to help people become financially independent and self resilient and self reliant. And that's what I do here on the show every day. So thanks so much for joining me. Really do appreciate it. I've had a shave. You can recognize me though. It's still the same me underneath it all. And I just realized that while I've been doing all this stuff to get ready for the show today, I haven't actually kind of got myself ready. So I was rolling up my sleeves and unpopping my collar just there now. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me. And we're going to be taking a look at all of our favorite stocks, news in the world, news that's come out as well. We'll discuss the news. And, yes, well, let's just put it this way. Most everything that you want in life exists outside your comfort zone. We'll be doing a little bit of that today. So thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to say hello to me in the comments there, because I like that. I like that. Say hello. and let's just roll the intro credits. I'll say hello to everybody and stick a poll in the chat. Wonder what poll I could stick in the chat. Let's go. Whoops, wrong one. Intro clip. Aha! Hello. So this is the charts. I have the charts open behind me. That's what I like to say when we get to this point. Welcome to the charts. This is the charts. Welcome to the charts. We'll be looking at these things. And doesn't it look mighty complicated? I'm sure it really, truly does. This poll that I'm going to ask people is technical analysis within your comfort zone? So I'm going to ask first question. So I'm going to ask everybody with the first question. So get your answers in there, and good to see you, Der Baum. The timer is somehow off. Is it? That's annoying. 3 minutes 7 seconds. Is it off? Well, surely it's only off by a couple of seconds. Hopefully it's only off by a couple of seconds. I could hit like stop and then start on it and try and buy a second or two back. But you know what it's like. It's so hard to get things in sync when you're operating with people across a 30-second time delay. Oh, so I don't know how good that'll be. Good morning, Corey. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Frog Lord. Good morning, Stephen Kimbler. Good morning, Space Monkey, Rich Lee, Dobermamba, Kim Brady, Bad Plus, Gameox, Wolfric, Derbaum, J.A., Harry, Chris, Caitlin, Wolfric, D, good to see you, D, Banana Freeze, Jeff, L4G is so great. Wow, almost a different name every single message up there. Electro Boy, Guitar Outside, Sal, goodness gracious me, we're all here. We're all here. Yes, says 64% of people. I can't actually remember the question I asked now. Is it inside? It's within. 64%. It's within your comfort zone doing the TA. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well done. Good answer to everybody. Because one of the things that we'll be doing in today's show is, and if it's 64% of people say it's within their comfort zone, then that's great to know. That's really great to know. Lucky 449 in Dan's absence. Thanks so much, D. Thanks so much. Do you see that, D? Do you see what people are saying? It's dropped slightly by 1% there, but 63% of people are saying. Did you see that, buddy? 63% of people are saying that it's within their comfort zone, which means that surely 63% of people here would have absolutely no problem making just a 2-minute video where they do some TA that I can then watch on the channel and discuss and review with everybody else. Surely then I can expect a whole flood of replies. Look at that, it's gone up from up 1% as well. A few more people get your votes in, because that's the implications of your votes, people. That's the implications of your votes. And we have assignments that we will be looking at. We will be looking at these today. In fact, we'll be looking at these really soon. We're going to come around to look at these really soon. I suppose just to make it fair on everybody, I'll hit a like button on that one. Be sure to hit the like button on this video. To make it fair for everybody, I'll do a bit of TA of some sort for a couple of minutes on some things. So I can see the numbers still rising, even though I'm sat here talking about how it's you know, this is the implications. Well, 67% of people are saying it's within their comfort zone. Within. I said it within. I said inside your comfort zone. If it's inside your comfort zone, I'm expecting a heck of a lot of homework assignments coming in from people. A heck of a lot of homework assignments. A heck of a lot of them. Because so far I have a homework assignment has been submitted by the Mighty Red, which is what we're going to look at first. She's the latest one to have submitted it. And we're going to look at that one first. The last will be firstest, the firstest will be lastest, and all that sort of jazz on that front. We also have one from Ben. Well done to Ben. We also got one from Dead Money. Well done to Dead Money. That's 1, 2, 3 so far. Sauce Food Cart, that's 4 of them. FU, that makes it 5 of them. Then we've got 6, 7, 8, 3 more. So we've got Puddles, Bruley, that's Stally, and D Harker have also submitted them. So that is, well, it's really great, actually. It's really impressive. But considering that there's 1,700 members of the Discord, and that's only 8 people have actually submitted their homework, and 60, oh, it's back down to 60, oh, it's dropping now. Oh, it's dropping now, eh? It's dropping now. The polls are dropping now. It's 67% the last time I looked. Now it's 61%. Oh, finally hitting home with their message. Oh, suddenly it's not in your comfort zone anymore, eh? Suddenly it's not in your comfort zone. When 2 minutes ago, oh yes, the swagger was real, wasn't it? 2 minutes ago, the swagger was real. Oh, TA is in my comfort zone. No problem. Look at that. Look at the backing away. Get your homework in. It's a homework assignment for everybody. Everybody who doesn't do the homework assignment just has to live a life of shame. You know, abject shame, horrible shame. It's awful. There'll be so much shame. I'm just kidding, but you know it. You know it's true. You know it's true. This homework assignment. It's not for my pleasure. It's although hopefully this will be nice. It's for your benefit, right? It's for your benefit. What have I got up here? Soybean futures. Yeah, still curious about the gosh darn soybean futures. Yes, I know. It's subject to international trade war stuff. Yeah, I know. Soybeans always, you know, this is soybean meal futures. This is for feeding animals. That's always got competition coming in from some other jazz, looking to do a better job of feeding animals. We discussed this. Insects and stuff like that for coming in and feeding animals. So there's lots of stuff like that, and also as well, we've had a significant pullback here on this. But I would love to see it taken out the edge of the golden pocket here and the 236 Fibonacci retracement from our kind of last little peak up there in July. Sorry, start of July, end of June. One of those two, start of July. Down to where we are now. We could be looking up there and saying, well, a 618 golden pocket Fibonacci retracement from here takes us back as far as the 50% line, which would be probably just under the 236 Fibonacci retracement. Indeed, just above, sorry, the 236 Fibonacci retracement from the high down to where we are now. So the risks of us going up towards that zone are so high, right at this pivot point here of sort of 345 buckaroonies. So I'm looking at soybeans and thinking that now, well, you know, a move up, maybe just looking for something under 10% of a move, you know, not looking for anything fantastic on this one, you know, just here it is, you know, we're talking about it. It's one of the it adds a bit of the spice of life to the TA. Now let's go take a look then to go from one extreme to another in terms of familiarity. Let's go take a look at GME. A few drawings on here that really don't need to be here, which I should remove, because every time I visit this chart, I find that I'm rapidly overwhelmed with all of the drawings. But it's cool because loads of it's education and stuff. Like there's this education here that we were doing in the past, education here, there, everywhere. And it remains the case that we still are waiting to see how this resolves itself. And this is a curious one. It's an interesting one for us. This is GME. Now, if you were looking at the harmonic stuff that we've talked about recently, still yet to actually properly finish off that course, although the main guts of it really has been kind of delivered in a sense. When you combine it with what we do here in the show, you know, for sure it was delivered years ago at this point. But we talked about these harmonic patterns. Now, they often look like this, right? Or like this. Whatever. Actually, that's inaccurate. They don't look like, they often would look like more like this, right? Whatever, right? And just M's and W's is what we're talking about. And that we talked about how there was a really important phase for these things, which is between the sort of the C and the D point. And it comes in over here. And can anybody remember what that phrase is called? Let me know what this is called, what step that is. There's 3 steps in the trading process. Let me know if anybody can remember. Just stick the answer in the chat there. What this final sort of state, the final stage. Sorry, it's not the final stage. It's the first stage, right? But can anybody? Hey, Ashley, good to see you. How's your garden? Lol. So let me know if you can remember what this part, when we were looking at it, there's a diagram. Maybe I need to draw one like sort of just in here. There's a diagram, and it had a sort of thing that went like this underneath it, that said, you know, that this here is something. It's something. It's something. Try it. Good one, guys, coming in with guesses. Good one coming in with guesses. Good one. You know, my question isn't that easy to answer. It's not so clear of a question, so no problem to anybody that wasn't getting this one. No problem. This was just the identification step. Okay, the identification. Right. Okay. So I mean, I realized that I could have asked that question in a way that would have enabled you to answer it a little bit easier. This isn't trying to trick you at all or anything. Really, honestly, it's not. The identification phase. Now the execution phase and the PRZ and everything else, that would come in here at well, let's say at this point here, because I need to because of I'll just make this line up a little bit better so it's a bit clearer, you know. So like we've got the identification zone, the trade identification zone, and really maybe I'll just spread this out a bit to the left here as well, because it's more like this, right? It's more like this. And we were talking about this, and one of the reasons why we're talking about this and trying to understand it, and great for everybody putting in those answers, by the way, great, all this stuff, good stuff, right? But that's the answer I was looking for. Understandably, a bit of a confusing question. So this is your trade identification step, the stage of the process, and this would be the zone where you start doing that in. And people often say, but why is this? Why are we not trading it? Why are we not trading it? In fact, I've kind of put this in even slightly wrong in a sense. It's really like, you know, here, you know, really this is what I should be trying to do here. Sorry, this is what I should be trying to show people. And understandably, if you're, you know, it's hard to draw this stuff in, right? And get the funny lines to line up. I was looking for that last chunk there, is identification. And the point I'm trying to make here is that when we're looking at GME, you could be looking at two different harmonic patterns depending on what way you're looking at the markets right now. And that to say that the idea is to try and trade it between the C point and the D point, and that being a mistake, makes perfect sense when you understand, pardon me, that you could be looking at completely different harmonic playing out, and you're trying to identify where you are. You're still trying to identify where you are with the harmonics. So let me just zoom on into the chat here, so you can see kind of the point that I'm trying to make with regards to all of this here, because there's 2 potentials for us, and thanks to Corey for pointing out one of them. There's 2 potentials for us. I should really try and remind me if I forget here to pop my drawings back on. I just ditched them all in the bin. I hate doing that. I always forget to stick them back on, and then I'm thinking, oh, what was I looking at before? I think Corey was looking at something along these lines, right? So forgive me if it's not, if it's drawn in from the wrong. Which low is it? I think it was. I think that's the one that you were talking about, matey. And that you could be looking at a Gartley pattern that would take you for a 786 Fibonacci retracement between the X and A point. So coming in for that 786 over here, somewhere roughly around the $169 level. And that's something that we're thinking about. Could that be the case? Could it be the case? Well, it could be the case. And then we're also thinking about there could also be, it could also be the case that if this was your X point and this was your B point and this, or your A point, and this was your B point and this was your C point, you could be looking, oh shit. I tried to drop that on the charts and it got rid of it. You could be looking at a butterfly pattern. So let me just draw that in again. A to B to C. Now note A, B, and C are all in the same position, or X, A, and B are all in the same position. I was reading that. That's Karl Popper, Eat Your Heart Out, or Pooper, what guy? Yeah, Popper, right? It was him that did that psychology test with reading colors, I think. Was it? Or was it Pooper? Some other guy with a similar name. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about in the chat. So you could be looking at this, and the TA I was trying to express yesterday is that you very much could be looking at either going up or down. And while that might seem like, oh, Rocky, you're being so redundant and this is not good enough technical analysis for us, you're just saying it could go either direction. I'm actually trying to make a really complex, high-level technical analysis point to do with the fact that trade identification of one thing here, so if this is the trade identification phase of the Gartley, which I'll make a different color just so that you can see. So I'll make the Gartley here technically is a bullish pattern, so I'll leave it green, and I'll make the butterfly that I put in, which is technically a bearish pattern, in as red. Okay. So you could be looking at, you would be saying that this is your trade identification zone right in here. And then the point in that, so this is hopefully to give you, to help you understand why, why would you do that? Why would you have that as a thing? Why would that be a thing? Why would you have this as a thing? Why is it important? Why would you not trade it from C to D? Was this such a good move from C to D? Why would you not trade that? Well, here's a very good reason. Because if the prices go down only as far as, say, the 886 Fibonacci retracement point between the X and A points, between the A and B points. Gosh, between the A and B points, this really is hard to read. There's writings on the screen. A and B points of this butterfly pattern. Then so if the prices only go as far as the C point here and then start moving up, then you're looking at a butterfly pattern, and you're not actually going down to the D point, which means that you'd have to sort of suffer. Why? Well, because you would only really know that this hasn't worked out for you in terms of the Gartley once the prices have gone back up past 215. Now, we also know that just, beyond this, that there are plenty of other reasons to look in this zone for potential for turnarounds. Well, what was that? At those price points, because we already know that there's the great potential for flux, which would mean that if you've got a trade identification zone there, you've got a trade identification zone up here too. And where does that come in at? Well, it comes in most likely if there's going to be, at the resolution of the $222 question. Okay, because we've been talking about 222. These numbers are very bad. $222. We've been talking about $222 on the show as being a pivot point for a while. Now, why is it a pivot point? Well, because, and like I say, there's always overlap with technical analysis. Well, because the pivot point there would happen to be your turnaround point or your identification point, really, for the butterfly pattern. That would be where your identification point comes in at. So you can see how there's all these beautiful overlaps. And a lot of people would say to me then, well, why do you trade other things? Why do you not exclusively use one trading way? Why are you a discretionary trader, Rocky? Why? And well, it's because I have the freedom to think in these lines. Not everything that you want. In fact, most everything that you want in life exists outside of your comfort zone. If you want to be a discretionary trader, it probably exists outside of your comfort zone too. I think this is a beautiful exploration of where we are right now in terms of in terms of the importance of the identification zone, and in terms of the GME pricing right now, trying to find its equilibrium. Spelling's important, he says as he enters equilibrium. Whew, I made it through. Do, do. Excuse me a second, just writing this in here because it's a neat little picture, isn't it? Right, that'll do. What does it look like when it puts the picture in? Excellent. So that's what we're talking about here. And now I don't feel quite so bad if I were to go over and take a look at some of this. Thank you so much, by the way, for everybody for joining me. If you feel like you get value from these episodes, hit the like button. If you don't feel like you get value yet because it's just outside of your comfort zone, hit the like button anyway because you'll be back for more, and do indeed come back for more always. This is the place to be. And of course, you all know these are my favorite people. All my favorite colors, my sisters and my brothers. So just what I was just doing there, by the way, was making it so whenever I draw my next harmonic in, that it um that that it is the color that I want it to be. So that's the technical analysis there for us. That's why I'm here trying to explain, the flux in this area, and perhaps then why with the GME charts will look a little bit lower down in terms of time frames today. That was, I think, really high quality lessons. I don't really know. Anyway, let's go on over here, and hopefully you can hear it. I'm going to bring up my wee Streamlabs doodah so I can make our stream elements, or whatever you call it, OBS guy, so I can see. Am I in the way? I am. I'm in the way. I'm in the way. Theater mode. Theater mode's much better. And then I can kind of be here. Perfect. I'm not so much in the way anymore. Perfect. This technical analysis is brought to us by the mighty Red. Let's see what she has to say. Now, I've watched a minute of it, and I've not watched the whole thing. I don't know what she's going to go on to say when she actually does the TA. But thank you so much for submitting this, and we will do more. The reason I'm doing this one, everybody, if you've been kind of hoping that your one would show up on the show because you put it in earlier, etc., is because this one just arrived last, and I'm going to keep encouraging everybody. It doesn't matter. In fact, in lots of ways, it's cool if people have put them in a few days ago. We could get to see how the TA actually worked out, and if it was, if the predictions, so to speak, were accurate, even if the TA was inaccurate, and that sort of a thing. Maybe it speaks slightly to some sort of understanding which exists there, which isn't actually at the point of being able to be articulated quite yet, as people who learn languages will have experienced. Anyway, let's see what you've got to say.
Well, hello, folks. This is
Hello.
Red, and um, this is Red's homework assignment for Professor Rocky Outcrop.
Well done.
Um, you'll notice what a terrible student I've been in a moment, and I was hoping I could get away with some extra credit. But I've been listening to New Spring on an audiobook for a moment, and I do get that reference, and so I'm excited about that dedicated title.
Well done. Well done. Extra credits. Extra credits are on their way to you. Extra credits are on their way to you.
And so this is my portion. You better deliver. Looking at Polkadot.
Polkadot, good
This is a
choice.
4-hour chart. I do not know what I'm doing
Come on.
at all, but I'm going to put some lines, and I would put some lines here. Oh, F. See? Alt. Got it. Here. And here, or there. Also, here-ish. And maybe I'm being too optimistic, so I'd put some kind of reference around here for myself as well. And then, I don't know, man, I'm expecting us to at least, I do expect us to go up to here. I do not know yet enough about Fibonacci's. That's going to be my additional homework, Professor Rocky. But so far, I hope I have demonstrated at least a extremely basic level of charting on this very weird looking White Walker chart that you've given me. Thank you.
Thank you, Red. Thank you, Red. Thank you. Comments turned off. Fair enough. Thank you, Red. That's great. That was great. Let's just review that real quick then for a couple of minutes. Bring up the Polkadot chart and look at what you actually did there. Really good. It was a really good video. So obviously you've stuck to the basics. That's good. That's actually what I asked a lot of people to do in terms of you know, being confident about doing this and going outside of your comfort zone. And by the way, wonderful, nice little picture in there. That was one of the big reasons I wanted to play your video first as well, because I just wanted to load up a video, see if I could get it working on stream. Saw that you had that picture up there. Most everything that you want is outside of your comfort zone, and I thought that's it. That's got to be the story for today. So thank you. You've done that very well. Couple of little things about this. Then let me just see. Go back to your video real quick and just just check in and see what you were using there. Yes, the linear chart. Indeed, you were. I just wanted to make sure as I'm looking at it myself. So you connected up these two lows just here for an upward sloping line. Now, as you can see here in the logarithmic chart, quite fairly easily in a sense, if I do the whole lightsaber style thing, that you know what you want to see three touches. You know, if you're going to be putting any weight on a line, you want to see three touches. So just extend that off to the left, and you do have some here, and extend it to the right, and you don't quite have some here either. But this would be at least give you a bit more sort of an idea. I mean, if you're going to have this line, this diagonal sloping, upward sloping support and resistance line on here, if you're going to have it on here, then you're going to have to you're probably going to want a reason for having it on here. Now you can see the linear chart, this changes slightly. You don't really quite get the touches quite so nicely with all three along the way. So there's a be questioning as to whether or not you'd necessarily want that on there. But but you have it there, so it's like it does give you a good reminder of the kind of the depth to which things could go to if they were to be looking for this some sort of longer term support line. Another thing that you did there was you added in some horizontal lines. Lovely to see that, you know, you've got a horizontal line that lines up more or less with where we've got this liquidity area. Is that correct? In around about, where's that? That's $15 in your chart, and over here this is in around about 20 down to 19. So it's a little bit, you got your one a little bit lower. You're going to, yes, you're looking at that there area. I'm looking just above it, but still, I mean, this is to do with what's kind of close to us in terms of where we could be trading to, etc. Then you've also identified the different sort of supports and resistances in those areas as well. You're not so good at Fibonacci yet. That's cool, because when you do get good at Fibonacci, you'll be able to combine it with those horizontal support and resistances. So if I just draw in my Fibonacci line over here, I can see that this one at the top here, where I've got a little green box identifying some sort of targets or something like that, and this red line here lines up with the 886 Fibonacci, and it all kind of think to myself, well, maybe there's a reason for that. Now, it could well be that I drew that in based off the back of a Fibonacci in the past. Let me just see. Doesn't look like it, in fact. No. So now we can see that there's a sort of confluence there between these areas. So that's cool. And you have the oscillators on the chart there, but you didn't take advantage of them. One little thing that I would say is that you're kind of giving up real estate for yourself. But then again, by the same token, you're keeping these things visible. So even if you don't know what they are, you're developing familiarity with them, and it's kind of latent or osmosis learning, where you're letting it kind of sink in as you're looking at things. Interesting little things to note, I suppose, come into play with regards to whether or not we could have divergences, etc. So you'd be wanting to at this stage like be more clear about pointing out which direction the trend is going in at any given time, etc. That was beyond kind of what you were looking at. So you didn't really use any of those down below to look at momentum, etc. You can see here that we are still, of course, trying and not really succeeding yet in terms of turning around any of those oscillators. 24-hour time frame could be going down, could still be aiming down towards that 26 area. No doubt you're aiming up towards 30 as that upper line for your support and resistance. Aiming to play between the levels, perfect stuff. Like I say, it's one of the wisest ways. Wise being like, once a lot of people have gained experience, they'll very often go back to looking at just kind of waiting to see if we get a turnaround, then hoping to play a trade from around about that point up to around about that point, rather than necessarily trying to catch any knives, etc. along the way. That sort of thing that you can do, and that's easily done when you've identified support and resistance. So well done to doing that. And how much longer have we got here? I'll spend another minute or two on this before going on. So you looked at it on the 4-hour time frame. So this is actually where you started at, and I think yeah, so I'm just coming into it now to see, well, how are these things doing? This low here is not as low as, but similar to that one. And then so far here we're coming back down again. So if we do go back down and test this line here, this orange line, then we're probably going to be doing it with a degree of a bullish divergence, which is cool to see. Have we got the potential for a turnaround here? Is this actually just tried it on the stochastics, didn't quite make it, but any positivity here from this point will see a cross in the stochastics, giving us at least a little bit of momentum to carry us a little bit higher. So you could get that even if it's just a little dead cat bounce style. Do we have hidden bullish divergence or anything like that in here? Just kind of curious about this formation. Not so much there. Another thing then I suppose I would point out then at this stage personally when I look at these things is the potential for this to be some sort of pattern. I would look at this and say, inverted head and shoulders type ideas. I'd look at it. I mean, is it an Adam, Eve, Adam, or no, sorry, an Adam, Eve, Eve? I mean, just a head and shoulders idea. Then of course look and be wary of the range, but this would be if I was doing the technical analysis for other people. So I'd be looking at it saying, well, highs at 40, lows at 25. That's a $15 range. We could see the prices dropping all the way down to $10. That comes in at around about 15. The $10 price point is actually where our previous low was. And then for the analysis for the show, what I would obviously do then at this stage, or typically would be to draw in a Fibonacci, or to mention, at this point, that would be 100% Fibonacci retracement if you were looking at that way, just for the analysis purposes, and that you'd be hoping for a turnaround at one of these other zones and trying to ask questions about that, etc. along the way. But you didn't need to do any of that, because essentially implicit in what you're saying is that you would only be you're looking to trade between these two levels, and that you're just doing a simple support and resistance thing. Very well done. Good job. You didn't look at the volume either. You maybe would be wanting to say that if you were getting into a move here, that you'd be looking for an increase in volume along with it, etc. That sort of thing. These sorts of things, little bit like that you could do, that you can work towards, adding all that refinement there. Fantastic, great start, inspiring stuff, I think, as well. Definitely did a good job. So hopefully that'll get some of these other comfort zone voting fibbers up off their bums to do a video as well. We'll check out another one of them before the show ends today for sure. Maybe a couple. Try and maybe see if I can get a bit quicker at actually doing the analysis on it. Now, jumping over to take a look at some news. We've got free spending consumers defy economy's unholy trinity. Do I want to bring up this news necessarily? There's a couple other ones. Oh yeah, Nasdaq futures drop. Stock futures drop. Nasdaq sinks as Treasury yields climb. Treasury yields climb. But you're starting to get a pattern here. You're starting to see the pattern in terms of what we're talking about. Now, we explained this a few times in the past with regards to Treasury yields, bonds. That's the bond curve, bond yield, all this different stuff. As that goes up, then it has a negative effect in terms of equities. Now, in what environment would that be the case? Mostly, well, in a sort of an environment that's frankly somewhat risk. It's a risk on environment. There's nobody can say that it isn't because it has been recently, but with an attitude there, we'd really rather not be a risk on environment right now. I'd really rather have ways invested in areas that they didn't need to take that much on. And yeah, so like, there's this sort of keen eye keen eye being paid to that. Oil prices head above $80 per barrel as fuel crisis beds in. So there's news to go along with the TA. There's news to go on with it along with the TA here, for example. CL1 exclamation mark, really pushing on up. Fantastic. I mean, I'd have taken profits. Sure, I would have taken a third off there at probably at 75 bucks. It says $80. I mean, wait, well, hold on a second. What was it talking about though? What is it talking about there specifically? Brent Crude. Nope. CL. Nope. Where did it go? Where was it $8? Where was it $80? I don't know. It doesn't show $80 in my chart. I don't know where this is. This heads above. Is it? Is it? Is it? Should I read? Do I have to actually read this? Sorry, hold on a second. 80. I don't want to actually read. It says it there. Tuesday, energy markets stayed in focus. Most volatile factor markets on Tuesday in London as price of oil barrel headed above $80 for the first time in London. So we're talking about Brent Crude, but Brent Crude 1% higher to trade. Oh, it was Brent Crude, BZF. Okay, fine. So it's funny. It's interesting to see as well as sort of the Brent Crude pricing moving. It's. Do I want to do a comparison chart real quick with Brent Crude? Maybe. So you can see that occasionally these things diverge away from each other, right? Just try and get it to match up at a point that would be match upable. You can see that in and around about this period of time when we've had resurgences in price that we've not necessarily increased quite to the same extent as what the CL futures have, the American oil fields, etc. So the sort of the sweeter oil, or the as you know as being as sweeter as they call it, doesn't matter, who cares, as being priced in slightly higher. But you can see that there's really quite close here at the minute in terms of the recent movements up the way. It's maybe worth pointing that out, I suppose. Although when you're doing comparison charts like this, you can see that obviously they're a nightmare for making the comparisons. It's a nightmare. So what you want to do, since it actually takes it from a departure point on the left, is move your chart over so that a significant point in the past is where you're measuring from. So then what you're inclined to do then is to go to peaks and troughs. Well, peaks and troughs are going to be determined by the particular dynamics and speculation within that market of that particular thing at that time, as well. The extremes in terms of it could be slightly different with regards to the particular trading hours that are available for it, etc. Anyway, we can see that from like this extreme to this extreme that we're doing very well, but with the in between flux periods not so much. So it's interesting to see. We'll be looking, obviously you can look and see if you are looking for a turnaround or etc. to keep an eye out for one or the other moving quickly away to follow that trade. I don't think anybody's doing that out there in the audience at the minute, but it's an interesting one anyway, just to have a comparison for there. So what else? 10 minutes past 2. We're stick with the news. Stick with the news for just now. Stick with the news for just now. So it's cool to see. It's cool to see that it's a wee bit annoying that the headline didn't specify for me. Just so it was Brent that they were talking about and converting it over to pricing it in dollars. It's an interesting one, of course, as well, because GBP is or traditionally, although it's less, so I don't even know if people even get taught this these days, is a petrol currency. And we're seeing that the price of GBP is. I've got up the USD GBP chart this way around, so you can see how many GBPs you're getting for your $1, and you're getting 73 at the minute. So it's interesting to see the dynamics that play on this one. This is, it's just interesting to look at these world dynamics at once. If you're interested in finance markets, you can do all this sort of stuff. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it on your own. You just need to know the ticker, I suppose, really, isn't it, to get the information up. So there's other news articles. I've got two more loaded up here. I just wanted to see if there's something that jumps out here. Bitcoin could rise 10 times in price, but I just don't care, says JP Morgan CEO. That's the type of attitude that you get from people like Jamie Dimon. Bitcoin may rise 10% or 10 times in price in the next 5 years, but I don't know if it's an asset, he says. It's so annoying, this word, the use of the word asset, whatever. I don't know if it's an asset. I don't know if it's a foreign exchange. I don't know if it's a currency. I don't personally care. I'm not a buyer of Bitcoin. I learned a long time ago, figure out what you want, do what you want, and be successful yourself. Now, there's a guy who's not saying that he doesn't care about Bitcoin from a business sense. He doesn't care if he doesn't care that he doesn't say that JP Morgan does or doesn't care about Bitcoin. What he's talking about is purely himself in that sense when asked. And he doesn't know. He wouldn't need to know to be able to trade it either. I think if he were to finish that sentence off, he would say, I don't know if it's an asset, I don't know if it's a foreign exchange, I don't know if it's a currency, and I don't personally care. And he could have also said, and I don't need to know to be able to trade it successfully, etc. Blah blah blah. But instead, what he's saying is like, just do you. And I swear, if doing you is trading soybean and oil, and that's what you want to do, then you're able to do that and be a part of trading communities and learn. Technical analysis is more or less the same across all factors. Anyway, that's him there. That's who that guy is, and that's what he said about that thing that time. It's a bit of a non-issue. Trading scandal that rocked the Fed offers chance to reshape it. So here we have, always a chance to try and put the silver lining on things. That's what we like to do with regards to GME, etc. Registration of two Federal Reserve chiefs amid a stock trading scandal means an unexpected number of top monetary policy jobs are coming up for grabs. So, we're seeing a lot of kind of change there at the top. Serious consideration should be given to a wide range of candidates, not just long-time Fed insiders or those with close ties to finance and wealth management. So, a little bit of a shake-up in there, and we know that that's kind of ties in with what we've been seeing across with that guy's face. Coppola would have had to have played him. Bond yields rip as Fed prepares to turn spotlight. Now it's funny because all these stories, might as well just like read this out here. Longer dated U.S. government bond yields jumped after the Federal Reserve signaled that it would likely start pulling back on its monetary stimulus in November. Leave that with you as we go on to take a look at this, which is Financial Times reporting for us. It's a little bit more serious than Yahoo Times in terms of its Yahoo Finance in terms of its reporting, I suppose you could say, in a sense. But I wouldn't make a big judgment between the two of them. They're all just got journalists, human beings working for them at the end of the day. In charts, bonds with negative yields around the world. So this is actually, the story that the rest of the world is looking at. And there is a funny little disconnect between America and the rest of the world sometimes with regards to like looking at news or interest about certain things, and that's fair enough. It's the equivalent would be if I said to you, do you know about the rest of the world? And what you would say back to the thing about the rest of the world is, and it's totally, this is not taking the piss, by the way, this is me reinforcing the idea that what Jamie Dimon said is fine, and that you don't need you can just do you can trade soybean all your life if you want to. You could trade cotton. My favorite trader of all time just mostly traded cotton. So I could say, do you know about the rest of the world? Do you know about how you can trade cotton? And do you know about European bonds? Do you know about any of this stuff? Do you read the news? Do you need anything? You can turn it and say, I don't know about the rest of the world. I don't know if the rest of the world even has assets. I don't know if there are foreign exchanges. I don't even know what a currency is. And I personally don't care. I'm not a buyer of foreign exchange products. I just look at stuff that's in the American market, domestic trading. That's totally fine as well. If you want to do that, that's fine. Don't feel bad about it. But here we have news from around the world. Buying an investment that is guaranteed to lose money is hardly a recipe for financial success, but that is the bet that plenty of bond investors have placed. Bonds worth $14.8 trillion is more than a fifth, 21.6%, of the debt issued by governments and companies around the world, that is everyone, are currently trading with negative yields. See chart below, there's a chart. That means that the prices are so high that buyers are guaranteed to get back less than they paid via interest and the return of the principal capital if they hold the bond to maturity. So, so you get negative yields. So it's like the you're yeah, so you're getting less than the interest rate essentially. Most countries in Eurozone, even Greece, was faced with a multi-year debt crisis starting in 2009, as well as Poland, Czech Republic, Bulgaria, and Romania. Japan, Germany, France, accounting for more than half of the market in negative yielding sovereign debt. There's a bit in here that I'm actually a bit surprised that I didn't really have my finger on the pulse of quite so much, which is that there's chat about how the UK did negative yield bonds last year. Where is it in this article? Where is it saying that with regards to, where did I read it? It did it for the first time in, was it ever or what, in 2020? Sorry, I'm just gonna have to search. This is a bit. UK issued negative yielding government bonds for the first time in 2020 with a sale of 3-yield gilts that drew robust demand. So I'm interested to know exactly the details. It wants me to subscribe, does it? Well, let me just go search Google for this and get some scam website that copies it. There we go. Just 3-letter domain name, but they still just rip off news. UK issued its first bond with a negative yield as investors prepare for the possibility that Britain joins other European countries in having negative interest rates. So, yeah, there it was. Interesting. So anyway, yeah, I missed that one. Just kind of, well, I didn't miss it. I knew I'd heard about it or whatever, just didn't pay any attention. Just like last year, I guess I had other things on in May 2014. Kind of probably just put it down to the fact that it was well, it's, the world was going through crisis, etc. Anyway, interesting stuff. So what else did we have in the news? There was one other news article that I wanted to bring up. Well, I mean, we didn't actually read this in detail. Just wanted to point this out. That this is the situation around the world as kind of the hype train about bonds. It is so weird. Picks up so weird. It's so weird, this world that we're living in. We've actually got people out there who whether they know what the VIX is or isn't, I'm gonna guess that most people don't. They've heard so much about the VIX this year. It's like, this is something that people hardly talk that much about, but you guys know about it. Great, okay, cool. And then it's like things like bond yields and stuff like that. Stuff that's like, wow, here's something from economics that over the period of the last 20 years, people have talked about the bond curve flipping over however many times and stuff like that. Well, I mean, it's almost like a meme in lots of places, but now suddenly, like, you got YouTube videos about this sort of stuff and everything. It's amazing. Anyway, that'll do for news. After that was a bit dark, that one. Got 10 minutes, 20 past 2. We'll be looking at pre-market prices of our favorite stocks for the 10 minutes from 20 to half past. That'll be, of course, from 20 past 9 New York time till half past 9. Yeah, after I said there, that was quite Doric. Doric is the accents are in the north of Scotland. It's like in Inverness over to Aberdeen areas where you'd find that sort of region of accents. And they speak slightly differently. I like to do an impression of the way they speak when I sing the song Angie by the Rolling Stones. Angie! Angie! Anyway, Blackstone to sell Cosmopolitan property $5.65 billion. Okay, so Blackstone, big dudes out there, are going to be selling off the most significant asset sale in the firm's history. And the sale comes as normalcy returns to Las Vegas. Blackstone has told investors that it's agreed on the Cosmopolitan Casino and Hotel sale for $5.65 billion. That's how much it costs you if you want a big old Las Vegas strip hotel on there for you. It's amazing. Most profitable sale for a single asset in its history. And why not? The company paid $1.8 billion for the two-tower complex in 2014. 2014 until 2020. So I think if you're looking at things like inflation, etc., and you're wondering about, like, where is this inflation? Where is it hiding at, or where is it being sequestered at? Which is kind of like how I was talking about it. It's much less to do. People sit there and they'd be like, "Yo, man, the inflation is so bad. We've seen $479 trillion of something," and they don't know they don't really know what they're talking about, and there's kind of like these are the areas where it actually is happening at. And for a lot of good reasons too to go along with it as well, by the way, because the appetite for activity in Las Vegas is probably just only going to keep going up. According to a letter to fund investors seen by Wall Street Journal, total gains after WJS. Wait a minute, was Wall Street Journal covering? Is this where I read this at? WSJ. No, the Wall Street Journal is this Wall Street Journal. WSJ. Did I just read it? Was I just dyslexic for a second there? WG, yeah, I was. Total gains after sale would be over $4.1 billion, including operation cash flow. As per the letter, Blackstone made approximately 10 times its investment in the Cosmopolitan. Wow. The company is selling the asset to MGM Resorts International for $1.6 billion, with the hotel and casino operations sold separately. According to the Blackstone investor letter, the property will be purchased for $4 billion by partnership. So anyway, amazing stuff. This is all happening despite fears about the Delta strain of the virus. Las Vegas tourism has gradually increased this year. More than 3.3 million visitors visited in Las Vegas in July, accounting for over 90% of the pre-pandemic visitor numbers for July 2019, even with state officials reinstating the indoor mask rule for locations with the high rates of COVID-19 infections. Casinos have resumed indoor dining, including entertainment and buffets. Oh my goodness. And the Strip is going through a bunch of this. At the beginning of the year, Las Vegas Sands Corp agreed to sell Las Vegas properties for lots of other billions. And then as well, the mega casino Resort World worth 4.3 billion opened this summer. So there's lots of that sort of stuff. And I think that chat there brings us perfectly back over to the stocks, where we can look at our friend AHT, Ashford Hospitality Trust. It's 23 minutes after the hour. We've got 7 minutes until markets open up. Good to see everybody out there. Thanks for chatting along and being good sports out there, everybody. 123 concurrent viewers. It's good. It's doing all right. Decent enough show. Things going well. Let's just see actually here if it says subscribers are the only ones that can chat. I'm changing this to anybody. Anybody can chat. So people drop along here, then anybody could chat. And I'm also going to at the same time, well, actually, we'll just wait and see. We'll wait and see. I was going to stick some people as what do you call it, mods. Actually, tell you what, Bad Mama Jama, if you're watching, if anybody comes along and is an ass, then kill them. There you go, Bad Mama. Enjoy it. Pew pew pew. I'll probably ditch you as a mod. Did it not work there? I'm not seeing it working. I might ditch you. I'll probably ditch you as a mod after the show or whatever. I don't like keeping mods on long term on YouTube because it's just something I don't do. Right. So anyway, 1625. Yes, AHT. So AHT's been doing really, really well, and it did this move up to 1727 yesterday. It's like, yes, conditions are changing over here, doing good, and we can see the conditions are changing as well with regards to our chat with the RSI. When was the last time the RSI was in the bullish control zone? Well, the very last time that it was in the bullish control zone was up here when the prices were $77. I'll just make it full screen so you can see what's happened since. Woof, all the way down. So the prices actually went down as low as $12, having been at $77. Now, this is something that actually could go a heck of a lot higher than even that. But here we have the prices up at $17 just now. The first time that it's been inside the bullish control zone on the 4-hour time frame since the prices were $77. It's at this point here where I would like to say that, you know, it's tentative. It's only just got here, but we're starting to look at this and say, hey, we've got a change in conditions, do we not? And is it lovely? It's lovely to be here, you know, having had like all this stuff on the go, giving us all these sorts of all this struggle along the way to here. Let's just check in as well with that flash. Did that get filled in? I did. Okay, cool. So we're above 16. So I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this to continue on the way. Now, at this stage, we have come in here, and we could, of course, drop back down, etc. I would like to see it get a proper bite of this cherry, a proper bite of it. Kind of, you know, rejected on the first pass, though, is definitely a possibility. Just so you can see in terms of times in the past, like here and here and here, you know, here you could say rejected on its first pass. Now you got ones where it's like this, where you get a move up, but then so often it's like that as well. So just worth pointing that out in a sense that we've done quite a bit here. When Ambo, shush Ambo, shush. Right, so we've done quite a bit here, done things that are, you know, required to see us change in these conditions. but we still don't have that strength of trend to go along with us. So shout out to the Mighty Red here, put in that episode earlier on. You might be thinking, how can I really exploit traction, get some sort of purchase on these oscillators? How can I realize the benefits from having them on? And there's numerous different, innumerable different ways of doing that, to be perfectly frank with you. But you can see here that the ADX line, which is this thinner white line at the bottom of the DMI over here. In fact, I'll change this the negative line back to white again, because I'm being far too generous letting people see colors on this thing. So over here, yeah, the ADX line being below 20 means it's in chop territory, right? So so like you're looking at this and saying, well, we could experience a bit of chop. We could do here. We could see that. So that means we bring back over to the price at this point, and people often ask me what would be the way that you would go about doing technical analysis in order to be able to make trades, etc. And they don't realize, of course, that I'm doing it all the time. I mean, this is an example of it right now live. So I'm saying that. So hopefully that pierces the dream state that you might be in there, so you can hear it. And you'd be looking there and saying, well, if we actually came back down to 1602, then you'd be looking at saying, well, there's a decent enough buy price going, like can we get there? Can we stay can we stay in the 16s essentially? But actually you'd be looking more like towards 1590, etc., to try and see if you could get in on that, because anything below 1590, you'd be thinking about maybe we'd actually drop down a little bit lower, perhaps to the 382, down to 1530 or 1487 or something like that. So the benefit of stopping out of trades, of course, if you are looking at it from a capital gains tax perspective, etc., is that lets you offset against winning. So you're not doing too badly if you actually are going down the way there and trading, within your means. And trading, so that's the trade, and what are you trading, what's the trade, and what's the cost benefit analysis? Well, that's how you'd be thinking about things from that point of view. But of course, bang, you could be going all the way down to $14, right? That's a real possibility for us, because we've now kind of done enough. However, I would really kind of say that you'd be looking again at the oscillators and saying, well, that would be a big movement down here, and I'm not too sure about how that, in terms of like, you can see we've done this a couple of times while we've been in this chop territory. We've got upward sloping ADX. All it would take really is for us to sustain prices up here a little bit and move a little bit, and then we'll be able to push this outside of chop territory into sort of that just about starting to trend properly area on the ADX. So things start to happen, looking for organic movements in order to get that to happen without massive pullback. So I'd like to see, just little movements. That's why I'm looking then at 1590, etc. And then, thereafter, targeting 1720 again, etc. Now that's huge moves, because that's bigger than the soybeans move that I'm talking about. So it's huge. Right, AMC then. First time looking at this in a wee while, and really it's just been going sideways in the confused world of, are we in a Chinese fear market? Are we in a happy Fed meeting, happy market happy? And so far we've just been kicking about in here sub $40 right now. Pre-market pricing at 38.50. Obviously closing out the day yesterday at 39.29. The question is going to be, can we sustain prices throughout the day today above the 37 territory, 38 territory, above that golden pocket? Definitely want to be seeing us closing the prices above where they are, or just at, at least where they are now at pre-market pricing. Seeing the prices actually open up here, giving us a body which is going to be challenging this previous body. We're actually, within a cent or two. So this is coming up right here, right now. Right here, right now. The pre-market pricing, the only time in pre-market prices is important is right here, right now. Looking at this one and asking. So I'm actually going to jump over to GME real quick. I think I've got a couple of seconds here. Pre-market pricing 187.60, 179.50. Okay, so that's all that. Let's just jump over to AMC again, as this actually does open up here for us, because I'm really curious. Boom, there you go. So we didn't close lower. We didn't close lower than this body over here. This is the 4-hour time frame. There's your most significant little part. This is why it's, it pays to be clued in, I suppose, as to what's happening there. So we've done the significance of the pre-markets. Not everybody would be looking at that, but that's certainly something we're looking at. Closed in that gap already. Happy enough to see things if they actually want to drop down to 37.50 at this point here. Currently proactively myself, I'm trading this with a view to looking up towards 44. That's what I'm doing, but this is where we are right now with the start of the day. GME over here, so that was a bit of fun, bit interesting. It was the most exciting part of the day in a sense so far for me, after, and it's not a close second, after watching the Mighty Red's video. So I'm going to bring up another one of those videos soon, because that was really good. We're seeing the start of doing that experience, seeing the start here. Thanks so much to her, and thanks so much to all of you for being so supportive. And by the way, if you haven't already, make sure you say well done to her in the chat, right? Because it's all about supporting each other. This is our dojo. Somebody just got up and did something, so I hope everybody else out there was commensurately responsible in their appraise of what she did there by being very positive about it, right? So that's what the same applies to everybody else that's already submitted a video. Likewise, too. GME pricing then. Okay, so we're going to want to look at this just kind of a bit closer. 5-minute time frame here. Hit the auto button. We're below. What's this white line? What is that white line? The 382 Fibonacci retracement point. Okay, so we're below that 382 just there. The gap on this one's up to 189. I'm positive on this one above 192. I'm looking for 100. I'm looking down to 180 and 175 if we actually do take out 185 in here at 188. It's a bit of that sort of no man, how would you know zone, where if you were simply looking to trade this up the way, you'd be forced to take something off the table at 189. You'd be forced to take something off the table at 189 to pay for the almost, to pay your fees out to balance that if you wanted to de-risk your trading strategy. Being aware of where we are right now, we've got the 5-minute time frame, and we have a flash here. So look into the open. I expect at some point today we'll see the prices back at this level right here. So keep an eye out for that. Let's just see if that actually is the case. Yep. So we'll see the prices. We're going in here. You would have to 189 if you're trading this short term. Now, a lot of people do trade on the 1-minute time frame, but do they explain this like this as they do it, as they're doing it so fast? Are we going to be suckered into thinking that these 3 advancing white soldiers on the 1-minute time frame does not more often than not also see a pullback on the charts? I mean, what does three advancing white people out there, and the people out there might be thinking, what are you talking about? Soldiers look like, and I'll show you what 3 advancing soldiers looks like. Let's see what sort of examples we've got on their pictures over here. What sort of examples have we got? That's that one there. You can't see the following candles. Okay, we'll go to another place where we get another example. Candlestick patterns, 3 white soldiers. Let's just see, because the examples of this, so typically, indeed here, this is a perfect example of what people would talk about. So open image in a new tab. I often talk about how people could be diametrically opposed views with regards to their trading, and that how could somebody, after seeing 3 advancing white soldiers, not respect the pattern and then short it against the move? Well, actually, this here we have an example. 3 white soldiers. This is it. Everybody, look. Here's 3 advancing white soldiers. It's a bullish pattern. It's a bullish candlestick pattern. It means bullish, positive stuff's going to happen. It's got all this story around it. What's the story around it? Sort of the advancing 3 white soldiers is sometimes referred to simply as 3 white soldiers. Is the advanced block and the stalled pattern, or 3 similar candlestick patterns that consist of 3 bullish candlesticks, blah blah blah, is the opposite of the 3 black crows pattern. It's called that because it consists whatever. So whatever, right? Whatever. Just be aware. So why was I talking about that again? Almost forgetting. Oh yes. So we could see a pullback. We could. Be aware. Anyway, I'm doing all that live on the 1-minute time frame and looking up an explanation from a textbook. And well, we got a bit of a doji there on that one. So, challenge myself, extremely challenging to do that sort of analysis over a period of time. And as well, of course, very much putting yourself out there with the willingness to be shot down. Okay, that's what I do. It's what I do on a daily basis. It does cause it does take an emotional fortitude to be able to do that sort of thing. Let's just wait here for a minute longer, and see, I guess, maybe what's happening right now. 188, 189 going to work for us as support. This green line sort of thing, or no, it's not. That's nothing, that green line. So anyway, we'll come back to that, and I'll get up another video in the background. I'll open up my Discord and get a video up from somebody else's thing. By the way, TraceBall, and yes, let the reapplication flow through you. Bow chicka wow wow. Homer's Ghost is so good to see you here as ever, as it is everybody. Now I'm looking for another video. Let's take one from earlier on, right? Let's take Puddles, first person to submit a video. I'll get that one up. It's going to require some reading, so I'll be able to do the audio component of it. I would encourage everybody else who does these videos, by the way, to submit them with some audio. so I don't have to read. Is my stream still working? That's always worth checking. It's lower than recommended bitrate, but we're doing okay. So, hopefully you've come from Rocky Outcropticians. Well done, folks. Alex, cheers. Really consider that component of things. I thought you would have uploaded it to, because this is where it comes in at. Volume is increasing, dropping through support at 0.03. May signal bearish secondary trend. Minor trend is ostensibly bearish, but showing bullish divergence. Looking for current bull flag to kiss the averages. Overall fundamentals bullish. Blah. Recent acquisitions. Yay growth. Yay growth. Whatever. Interstate year-on-year growth. Interstate commerce and access to capital coming. Right. And what is this stock, by the way? What did you say it was? NUGS. Oh, wait. Please no credit. Ah, man. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, man. Stream is starting to hiccup. Said please no credit. Sorry. Gave you the credit there. I don't actually know. Right. Okay, so we are actually struggling with the broadcast. I think maybe we're back on. I think we're okay. It would mean that the timer's band jaxed, by the way, probably. If it's buffering, the timer's broken. For anybody, if you're doing chapters and you're seeing this and you hear me saying it, the timer will probably be giving you inaccurate chapters at the minute. Timer's probably band jaxed. So mostly just looking around at your chart over there, bud. You've got different moving averages on there. It's really kind of comes down to a guess in terms of that chat. So I'm just going to take a look at that chart myself. NUGS it was, wasn't it? NUGS. And I'm sorry if you didn't want to see your own name on the show there. Rocky, did you borrow anybody to help with the thermal printer idea? No. People, I need somebody who knows how to get to help with the thermal printer idea. Please read the chat there. Jamie will explain it to you. And also, please also give me a massive round of applause for having successfully, accurately called this TA here precise penny by penny as it happened during that time, and took time as well during it to do an education section about candlestick patterns and also to bring up somebody's video on YouTube. So it's talking here like a certain degree of success overall. But now I'm still thinking at some point in the next we'll see the prices dropping back down to that 188 for the flash fill on the 5-minute time frame, just to see how that goes. We're still curious as to whether or not that'll actually happen, and that's still a possibility for us. Right, so anyway, I was going to bring up NUGS, it was, and you know what's needed and got the skills, Joe. So what I need is for somebody to be able to make it so that when an alert comes in, that it gets printed out on my thermal printer. It's a receipt printer type thing. Doesn't really matter. It's just a printer. Basically, I need to have a ability to print out as a file update, which means that I need to locate a file. The easiest way in my head for this to work is that I've already got Stream Labels installed, or Stream Labs, which should save the alerts that I get sent from YouTube to a file somewhere on my computer. I'm not sure where that file is or what it's called or how to find it, but I think that it saves them locally because I've got some vague memory of that in the past. And then if I knew where that was, I could check it, see if it updates. When it updates, print it out, and some systems to do that, linking it all together would be handy if anybody could help with it. Thanks so much, by the way, for the donation, Jamie. You'll be pleased to know that you've contributed with your £5 there massively to the income for today. Thank you so much. But Jimmy, do it through. If you're going to donate to me, do it through the other thing. What you call it? Thanks so much to Dan Lesage and D Harker for being the other guys that did that. Right, let's take a look at the other one. In fact, D Harker. Wait, no, sorry. Nugs. Yeah, you did yours. You said it right. Going to look at this 4-hour time frame. Nugs. This is a gold miner thing, right? No, it's not. It's cannabis. Cannabis Strategic Ventures. Yeah, man. Let's expand interstate, man. Yeah, bro. We could sell so much weed interstate, yo. Let's do it, man. What? Yeah, so like this has been really negative. You're right, ostensibly bearish is correct. The volume was decreasing for a long time. It increased ever so slightly here after their earnings, which I imagine were not amazing. Yeah, a loss. Pushing down slightly again, coming in for these lows. We've got our huge major market low. To take a long off the back of this wouldn't be, it's a major, obviously it's a major kind of pivot point for us. But could it go further? I mean, what's really dictating it is this previous low just here. So we've got that one area, could easily push a bit further. Bearing in mind that things could be. What did you say, by the way, though? You were looking at this over here a couple of days ago. You were looking at this. What did we say? Overall, wait, drop through support at 3 may signal secondary trend. So looking over here and saying, yeah, I mean, drop through support at 3. Where's 3? Three's base. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, it's this is your 24-hour time frame here. Dropping through to the threes area is taking us, taking us down low. Personally, I suppose I probably pushed that off by about half a cent, buddy. It'd be more like 2.5, and then as well in terms of like where we are now, bringing your ideas for managing risk up a half a cent if you were to be longing it here. But I mean, I wouldn't want to long it here. There isn't much to look for so far. We do have the bullish divergence. That's decent for us. Bullish divergence is nice. It's always good. We've got a couple of flashes. Let's see if the flashes give us some hope. In which case, I'd be longing it off the back of the flashes alone. This is 24-hour time frame, so there's significant time frame ones for us. No, that's kind of done, and that's done as well. We've got 4-hour flashes to be taken off the back, trades off the back of them. Nope. So yeah, until such times as it's different, it ain't different, buddy. Looking for volume to come in here. Yes, it could happen that the volume and whatever comes in, it's so low that it wouldn't take an awful lot to change the pricing of it. So you could see a move like this, see something like, where you think, oh, it's gone up a chunk, there's no time to get in on this, and then for it to go up another whole chunk thereafter. So I would still wait and relinquish perhaps a 10% move just to get to be able to see that there actually is some positivity. Like I say, you can see I would relinquish these 10% moves as well, because these are the fake outs as well, just like, managing risk accordingly in that sense. Or else I'd get in lower and try and manage it with like a really tight stop. But it's like it's crap, because it has been crap for so long. Like the weekly time frame here will just show us a lot better. But we are coming in for a major low, like you say, though, because this is it. Ostensibly, great word, buddy. It's ostensibly bearish, but essentially, if I could move this, which I don't know if I can, ostensibly, I have to choose the pivot. Like ostensibly, it's bearish, but we're looking for a turnaround at some point. It has been crap. It takes a long time to finish being crap. It's been many months, years of it being kind of slightly negative compared to what it was like in the past. Major potential turnaround and movements down past 3. I agree with you, man. Essentially, agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Good stuff. Puddles, man. Good stuff. Thanks so much for that. Let's just see what you've got in your video. I've watched this one already. I don't know if there's anything that really needs to be pointed out. Is that you pointing out the volume as well in that last little second? It might have been. Good stuff, buddy. Right, okay, so yeah, what was that there? Where is that price point? Like, likewise, if you are looking for this to turn around, have we seen anything that's like similar to that recently with these movements here? And the answer is obviously no. It's like, coming up to these points here would be a big turnaround. 8 cents upwards, massive movements to go from 4 to 8. You're looking for a 100% rise. So I mean, if we're going to get movements up, I'd take profits at these areas as opposed to like looking to trade from them. Movements maybe 10% might be enough to get me to start feeling positive about it, but not. We're looking for a turnaround, but it's one that you're going to just have to like be patient on, because, like I say, this is the weekly chart, so time takes time. Just like Mighty Red's thing though earlier on as well, in Mighty Red, this has got several potential touches on it. Except this one, we've come a lot closer. So you see, remember Mighty Red earlier on when I said like the advantage of this line would be this yellow upward sloping line on the chart you were looking at earlier would be if we were to actually go down to visit it. Well, that's kind of how the advantage of this line's been since we've come down to visit it in the past. From how when it's been so far away. Now we're so close to it. It's obvious. It's implicit that we could be seeing a turnaround at some point. It's a case of waiting to see if we've got something that's really screaming at us to go for it. Of any sort. And at the minute you're catching a knife. Right, so that's quarter. That's the first 15 minutes of price action has been done. So let's go jump back over. GME, how did we get on? How did we get on? Hit the auto button as well and see how did we get on. How did we get on? There you go. You don't always have to necessarily be there live to do it. What happened, folks? What happened? What happened? Well, we went away off, but I already told everybody that prices will be coming back to 188 within the next few minutes. So what actually happened here? And feel free to go back and review it and tell me, Rocky, you're just actually so egotistical that you blow smoke up your own ass proactively as you're doing the episodes, and this isn't what actually happened. But in my head, what happened is the charts were going to open up. I then predicted the exact movements of the price. Other than perhaps, I didn't specifically say that the prices were going up to 190 or anything. The exact movements of the price here, using a variety of different tools, and was able to educate and go off and do other things in the meantime. That's in my head. That's what happened. It was pretty shockingly good. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so we take up another one of these videos. I think it's maybe that time we get up D Harker's video, right? D Harker, he was the second to submit. I think, right? Yeah, the second person to submit a video, and a lot of good lessons in this one for people because actually let's just check out AMC because 37.94. We're doing the 37 thing. We're doing the 37 thing that I said we'd be doing, right? We're doing the 37 thing that we said we'd be doing. So the question is at this point, where's that yeah, we're doing this 37 thing that I was talking about. What have we got here in AHT? Doji at the top here for us, bit of the old struggle. So, this could obviously go either way in that sense as well. So we've been looking at that. How are we getting on in terms of Bitcoin, by the way? Not looked at this in a wee minute or two. 42,000, that's good. How are we getting on in terms of XTZ, USDT? 618. Oh, by the way, what did we say yesterday? But did you watch the show yesterday? We talked about this. We talked about improvements. Said where your best buy price would be, $6. Called the price action to the penny yet again every single day. By the way, people, what element of taking trades do you need me to explain? Or what part of it is it that you don't understand? Let me know in the comment let me know in Discord or in a comment underneath this video after it's finished being filmed. If there was anything that needed to be said by me yesterday, I handheld you to the point where I gave you within pennies, explaining exactly the dynamic of where the prices actually went. So you could let me know if there is anything with that one. I think I did. Unless again this is just me blowing smoke up my own ass hubris. I'm not 100% sure. I never really know. I'm pretty sure that I told everybody exactly. Let's take a look at Tetha. I'm curious about this one because this is still like struggling. 419 here still, but have we got the potential? What's our oscillators look like on this one? Yeah, it just keeps chipping away. Right, so I'm still waiting for this to do something that I want to see it doing. Mostly moved to 636. What are the other ones that we want to take a look at? Oh, dot. Yeah, again, dots. We talked about this with the Mighty Reds thing. How are we at the minute? 27.47. So yeah, I'm kind of curious as to the total market cap then. As to how things are getting on right now. Yeah, okay. So we never made it back above that 236. Yeah, $2 trillion in terms of the crypto market cap is extremely important. You can see this. It's where the 236 is. It's right bang on $2 trillion. Well, $2.005 trillion. So it's so important, so important. And this doesn't look a million miles away from the other charts. But what do you see here? What do you see? There's a symmetrical triangle on the go right here. It's as clear as day. Movements, and this is really pathetic. It's not covering the full movement. Movements up here, great. Movements down here, not so great. You could easily be looking down towards that 1.6 trillion, knocking off 10%, knocking off lots of money off of the market caps of all these things. So that could happen, right? That could happen. This is right here where it is. What do we see now though? We're at the turnaround point if we're going to go up here and try for a lower high. So could we do that? Yes, we could. And does it tie in nicely with the playing between two levels right where we are that Red pointed out? It does. It does tie in nicely with that as it happens. So let's bring up another video. This one here is great. And there's a couple of little things that I want to point out with this before we start. This is on Chewy. This was filmed a couple of days ago now, so we're the 28th. This was filmed on the 26th. The chap that made this, well done, D. Thanks for this. Has made it on his iPad, and he used one picture to make the chart. So there's some people out there who are like, I can't do the homework. I can't do the homework assignment because I don't have whatever it is. You do have it. You do have it. Okay, and let this be the proof to you.
So, just going to do some TA here on Papaco and Chewy.
Thanks so much for this, by the way, D. And thanks again for your donation, D. $4.99. Thanks so much.
Shout out to Sloth. We were chatting about this the other night, and both thought that it looked potential for a decent swing trade here. So the price has retraced nicely from this high at 97.93 and come beyond the 786. So it's expected to make a full retracement, which could be supported by the fact we're about to see a death cross on the 50 and 200 period moving average on the 4 hours. The RSI hasn't confirmed that the price action's turning around from this downtrend, nor does the ADX or the MACD, which has just crossed the signal line to the bearish side.
That was actually really very well done, D. And you've got that element of like what I have there, where you say a lot in the one sentence, and it's quite a lot to process for folk. Okay, so this is Chewy. What's Chewy's thing again? I could just look at your, yes, Chewy. Amber, thank you so much. Okay, I'll take a look at that in a second. So you said this could go for a full retrace because, and a full retrace being between the 19th of May and the 12th of August highs. By the looks of things on your chart there, hard to see. You can't see the dates, but going at those price points, it looks like that's what you're talking about. And you're saying that here we could see a movement down the way. That's like we're going down to around about maybe $63 or something like that. You're kind of hinting at. See the price is at 69 at the minute. Where were the prices whenever you made their video? Just around about here as well. So could we see a turnaround here or not? Could go for a full retrace. Could get a good swing trade if we're looking for it. So I'm not sure if you're saying this at some point, which you might do, where your entries would be, but right here, right now, you're looking and saying we're at the 786. It could go down. It could go down a bit more. If it did, there's a big drop off in the VPVR that it could take us down there. So you could see like there's not much liquidity support. Either way, if it does happen though, that you're looking to see if we could get a bounce from here to carry us back up towards, I think probably towards this gap fill you're probably going to mention, or the 618 golden pocket, which will line up with each other right where the biggest node is, or the VPVR is, and the point of control. So you'd probably be saying that you get a decent swing trade out of this one just to go up towards 79 from around about the lower 60s. It could even happen from where we are now, but you'd need to see something popping up on the oscillators to give you that good kind of that to get that. I hate the crosses of the MACD. Jamie likes them, so it's not like you're not allowed to like these things. I just think that the MACD is. I hate it mostly because it destroys the histogram for me. It makes it smaller and takes up all that screen real estate, and also because they're kind of bullshitty. So often, as you can see over here, just where I've got the mouse, there at around about 40 seconds into your video, for between 40 the timeline between 43 seconds and 48 seconds into your video, you can see that MACD crossing, touching again and again, that sort of thing. And it annoys me. It annoys me the way that it does that. And people talk about it for swing trade type mentalities. But yeah, you're right in what you're saying here.
Now we could see some support forming here, looking at the VPVR around 69.83. However, if we do break a bit below that level, there is a gap there, as you can see circled in red, which would suggest we'll come back to test this low here with support at 64.25. Now, if we do find support here, we'll be looking to enter a trade back on the upside once trend reversal has been confirmed by bullish divergence, and probably looking to sell our position slowly in 4 to 5 chunks. Firstly at 71.46, then at 81.09, then up to 89.98, and then holding beyond to see if we can test that high there at 97.93, and all in looking for an extremely good swing trade. I hope you thought that TA was useful, and thanks for
It was.
listening.
Thank you. That was good, D. That was good. Okay. Trade managed with a stop loss below the local low, moving it up on the way if price continues to trend upwards. That was really good, D. Well done. Good job, man. Good job. Hella good job. Things obviously that if you did see like, you know, nice increases in volume and whatever, you could maybe try and ride that wave. It could start happening. That could simply be as a movement up towards 73 to fill in the gap that was there previously. The cross that's happened, you know, you're looking at it and saying that shows that there's this negative momentum in place, ostensibly, to use that, or ostensibly. I put a B at the start of it, by the way, when I say it for some reason. Ostensibly could be, you know, as was mentioned by somebody, but we could be looking down here to we could be looking down at that 64 area and all that. And if that did happen and you had all the different signals, then yeah, you'd be looking for that. Great. Patience pays. Patience pays. It would be an impatient man that just simply wanted to get in on this, and that's what the wick of today is, up above and below the candles shows us. You know that there's been that for everybody else, it just hasn't been going that way. So patience pays. Good work, D. Good work, D. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. So we had a quest coming from Amber. TA on AXSM. I'm thinking about starting a position. Oh, right. AXSM. What is this? Axsome Therapeutics. Axsome Therapeutics. Oh. Well, this is a retest of the gap, right? We often talk about gaps and say how they get retested. Well, it's come right to it, hasn't it? Yeah. We often talk about how gaps will get retested. It's about the interplay of the price action at the gap itself. You know, how's things going to perform? This is done great. Could you be looking to ride this up in the gap? Where's that take you? 34 up to 48. So it's a big move there. It's an interesting chart, this. Or not. Now, little things to point out. I did try and say yesterday in a video, you might have seen me talking about gaps, and I was talking about how you could have price action, which is like this, and then it comes up and it forms what is like an island in the prices, and a gap down below again. And that these islands can sometimes sit there and remain as sort of like, you know, the top for like years afterwards or whatever. And then, or sometimes prices can actually just fill in the gap, you know, come back from there, or continue on up the way, and then it's like this makes it not an island anymore, and it's just like, you know, part of it. Well, I mean, it was an island, but it makes it look less like every top is an island man on his own thing, and more like part of an overall region of price action. So all of that sort of thing can happen, and then the interactions that goes along with it. So here we have that same sort of concept on the go here, and that failure to do this failure at this point to actually fill in this gap is awful. Failure having filled in the gap is really pretty bad. And movements up, you know, having filled in the gap that go on beyond it are really freaking pretty great. So there's a lot more to this gap dynamic here with regards to the relationship of it and the price previously. It's not quite an island. It's a funny one because we've got this gap over here on the left, the ultimate filling in of it, which brought us down to where the gap is here as well. This filling it in brought us down to where that gap has actually emerged from. So so it's not pure islandy in that sense, and we're right at it now. Managing your risk from this point of view, I think, is fairly easy because you know, for me, I'd be looking at it and saying, really quite simply, I suppose I'd say that movements down below $30 suck. There is a sort of 10% that you might need to kind of eat if we see a sort of bounce away from this zone. You know, so I'd be hoping to find something decent on a lower term time frame to kind of make that kind of worthwhile. Let's just see here how we got the bearish divergence just there. Yes, of course, at the 40 line. Yep. Turn around here at stochastics. So yeah, for me, the way this stands right now is that unless I was there trading it at the time live, looking at it, and I saw some great movements, resurgence in to the price action, I wouldn't be that interested. Or if I wasn't there trading it, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, this would be one of those unusual circumstances where I put a limit order in, or whatever. Sorry, I put an order in which is above the current price action, right? Which is weird, where it'd be like I'd only buy it. This is one of those where people, when people talk about how they enter a trade using a stop limit, for example, and stuff like that. So you can go and like look at how these ideas work if you wanted to try that. I'm not a financial advisor. I very rarely do this sort of thing. But if I was to actually be trading within the gap here and not looking at the screen and wanting to try and ride that, then I'd maybe wait until it was in it to take the trade. From where we are right now with the bearish divergence and the potential for it to turn around and to come back and at least test 30, which would be a far preferred entry point for me from where I am now. As I said, you'd have to eat that 10% if you're looking to trade against it when it could go past. Because managing your risk from 30 allows you to think beyond the 382 in terms of that 10%, whereas from where it is now, you're looking beyond 10% just to come down here, obviously. So there's all those considerations right now on the negative day. So far be it from me to tell you how to trade, Amber. I wouldn't. But I would just here at this point here, I would hesitate because to like right at this exact point, because this is the electric zone where people will get their fingers burned. One side of this will, one side or the other will. So the people who are getting in here are buying that risk. Even now, like in terms of this, if I was trading this now, I would wait, in the sense like this candle is coming down right here, right now for us. 15-minute time frame. Yeah, it's doing this for us. I would sooner wait. If I were to take a trade off the back of this, I'd manage my risk. I'd manage my risk on this one like this sort of thing. Like sure we're going way up, and I'd get a freaking an unbelievable risk to reward trade off the back of it, like just unbelievable stuff. But I'd be managing it super tight, super tight. So if this is how I was doing it right here, I wouldn't be messing around. That'd be my stop loss would be at like 32.80. Just to cope with this thing here. So that's how I would do it if I were to get in right here, right now. In fact, and so often I do this, but this is the type of trade that is the type where you can actually pay yourself off right early doors, and get on with your life, knowing that if you did get stopped out, it's no big deal. Those would be the sorts of ways that I would look at things like that. Just going to jump back over to the main screen. It's 3:05. Just jump back over to the main screen and read a couple of the no, I'm not actually. Sorry, I confused myself. I was going to go back over to the main screen and read the super chat stuff, but that is the super chat stuff. Yes, if anybody can help with the printing thing and the laser printer stuff or the heat thermal printer thing, that would be appreciated. So thanks. So yeah, that's how I do that, Amber. Sorry. And I hope that helps. I hope that helps. I hope it helps. Yeah, I mean, if this turns around right here, right now, boom, hidden bullish divergence, really tight stop loss, really easy to manage your risk, really easy to manage taking profits, etc. But again, like I say, I would manage it tightly because this is where we are right now, and you're totally catching a knife. I mean, you're hoping for this to turn into hidden bearish divergence, when really, if it doesn't, then it looks like it'd be testing the bearish control zone, right? And if it's testing the bearish control zone, it's a change of conditions, and then you might be looking for that 10% or that even potentially 20% drop off in prices, which would be significant. And also, just be a defense of that zone, creating that island structure at the top, which then can later be destroyed. But those juices would be flowing inside people's heads that were looking at the market at the same time. Right. Okay, cool. So Jamie said Friday night to ask you to take a look at AMC on the hourly and include extended hours for upcoming volatility, said Bulldog Buchanan yesterday. I missed that because of the problems. Let's just have a look there. AMC on the hourly and include extended hours. Done 37 here. I would 37, you know, was for me today. Looking at the charts, 37 was like my buy price for the day. You know, if we're going to be pissing about in here. But obviously, I'm looking at this now, and I'm very much aware of the negativity. Very much aware of it. I mean, what do we have here on the RSI? Only me being very much aware of the negativity, and so on and so forth. So the ADX remains above 25. Well, we've got this negativity here in the charts. It's not good. Nothing here is good in terms of the AMC chart. We've even also got hidden bearish divergence on the MACD as well. We've got hidden bearish divergence. We've got so none of this looks good, by the way, people. Just so you know, none of it looks good. So we're looking for something to start to look good. What could start to look good would be if we see this here turn into an inverted head and shoulders on the RSI, right? That would be my contribution to the what would make this look good phase. Anyway, the question there yesterday's super chat was that we was to look at it, include the extended hours for upcoming volatility. Just look at the DMI. So here we have it. Okay, so theoretically, this DMI flash was already filled in. It was filled in actually during extended hours today. But you asked yesterday. So upcoming volatility, because this was during this. Oh, right. And if I take off extended hours, then yeah. Well, Bulldog Buchanan, your question was great. Upcoming volatility. So great. Yeah. So upcoming volatility. So we've experienced this upcoming volatility here. We've experienced a good deal of this now. This is great. You know, so while nothing looks positive on this, there absolutely is an opportunity to long it from here. If this could turn into an inverted head and shoulders on the RSI, it would be fucking banging. Sorry, excuse my language. It'd be awesome. And maybe then we'd see a turnaround here, etc. Now, it would also it's kind of like if we actually close this 1 hour time frame. How long have we got left? 20 minutes. If we close this 1 hour time frame where we are now, we'd also got like very, very visible bullish divergence. Then with the visible bullish divergence and a move between these sorts of points, yeah, taking out 38, 33, bang. Take out 38, 33, and you are looking probably to test 42. And that would be my next movement. And that might actually start then to look like we've got this turning around. So things become very positive very quickly. This is the way that it goes in trading. You know it yourself. Things go one way, they go another. And then and it's like, and it's in those moments where it's like, oh my goodness, is it turning around or not? That's where the bread and butter is, where it comes to, like, you know, not the bread and butter. The bread and butter is trend following. But the but where the magic comes in at is that, so it's like looking at a situation which is like this one, entirely negative, and being able to say, well, hey, bullish divergence, it's written in the stars, baby. Unless we drop below 35, it's written in the stars. We're getting that bullish divergence. Potential for a pattern to show up on the RSI, decent addition. The hidden bearish divergence on the MACD, bit of a problem, that's true. We've done all of this though right at this zone. What if we did push on one leg down? I'd be looking at 35. Beyond 35 is a problem. But where we are now, could we see it happen? Yes, we could. I would just wait 20 minutes. Just wait 20 minutes. Just wait 20 minutes for this to close out, and then see if the next candle is doing decently. And when I say just wait 20 minutes, yada yada yada, you will be doing that on your own, because I'll have tuned out within the next 20 minutes. It's 3:10 just now. Thanks for people subscribing and all that sort of stuff. Thanks to Greg or Grio. Greg Lockhart. Scottish sounding name, Greg Lockhart. That's cool. Hope you're from Scotland, mate. So yeah, this is my show. This is the Rocky Show. It's not the something else show. This is my favorite show because it is my show. If this was your show, you'd probably like it more. But this is not your show. This is the Rocky Outcrop Show. So I have got all this junk behind me, right? I've got this here. This is another monitor arm, which looks like this here. You know, it's on the wrong place on my desk. It's not finished. It's not finished being put together yet. That's it in focus. That's there. So it's so. Oh, that's probably me ruined the camera. In fact, that's better. So all that sort of stuff, and I'm always doing things here. So I've got things all around me. These boxes, this little brackety thing here, this smart plug thing here, and then of course this thermal printer, which is my idea that I had there to get the notifications printed out in a really funky cool way. And it would be sweet if somebody is able to help do that. I've not read the chat that came up at the time, so I don't know if people are able to help with that, but that's something that I'm looking forward to being able to do. It'll be awesome. Very different to this episode, of course, though, as well, with people actually I would imagine using the thing. So that's cool. That's cool. And by the way, thanks to everybody for being members and all that good stuff. I see there, I get the notification that comes up. I don't read them out all the time, and it's because it's confusing. You know, it's month after month. But thank you so much, and a big shout out to somebody, to Griffin, GRIFFIN _. I know that time zones don't always work out perfectly for you, mate. For you to be here, you know, especially with my morning show stuff, really it doesn't. But if you do tune in at any point, it's always good to see you. I was thinking specifically about you yesterday. You know, I was thinking specifically about you yesterday. The reason why I was thinking about you yesterday was that I put on a show, I put on a clip that Bad Mama Jama had made, and Bad Mama Jama had I'd clipped out a bit where I'm talking about the first follower thing. He made a little hype thing, and it was quality. Thanks so much for that, Bad Mama Jama. And and what happened is, in the video, I'm pointing at people's names and saying, look, there's Julian, there's whomever, you know, people that have not really necessarily said their names for a wee while. I think I said you, Leptin, buddy, if that's you, if you just did that there now. I think maybe I did. Cheers for that, Leptin. You're welcome. I mean, I think I maybe said your name during there, but I'm not sure. You know, and I was thinking about, oh, who are these people who haven't been here for a while? You know, who are these people? And we're back at $37 again on AMC. You know, as I'm talking, that was part of the video and part of the chat. And Griffin was there at the time. Griffin, a guy that had been following along since before in the cryptocurrency days as well. That isn't somebody that just came, you know, as a result of some sort of hypey stuff and whatever. And I really do appreciate it. Appreciate all of them. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. Anyway, you can see here that we've got this sort of bearish convergence in a sense, with the prices being exactly where they are exactly right this second, and a penny or two lower on the, oh, you can't see it, but if a penny or two lower on the AMC charts would bring that down to that area. So that's something for you to look at over the next hour or two in your charts, trading your charts yourself. Thank you so much, Leptin, by the way. It wasn't like begging there or anything. I'm just saying it's like I've got all these ideas for this funny stuff, but obviously it would need to work. I've also got a bingo machine over there. Not quite got the bingo stuff sorted out yet in terms of like actually doing it and using it. I don't know how I'll do it. Don't know if I'll do it during the morning shows or not necessarily. I want to do bingo. I also want to be able to walk around a bit more on the show. So this is the sort of thing I want to be able to do over here, right? So I want to get that the camera angle good, and that you can actually see me standing up over here. So I need to change the camera angle of my camera. Quick game of higher or lower. First one. I'll not wait for you to put the results in. You can just play it yourselves. First one that came out was 54. Higher or lower? Higher or lower? What's it going to be? Higher or lower? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? The next one that came out was 21. Higher or lower? What do you think? 21. What do you think is going to be higher or lower? Higher or lower? Higher or lower? The next one that came out was 18. 18. Yes. Whoa, tricked a lot of people who were just doing it on the statistics now. Tricked a lot of people that were just doing it on probabilities alone. So yeah, that sort of thing. That's the sort of thing I want to do. To walk around and be more engaged and dynamic, but that's why there's all these boxes and everything lying around. Always trying to make it a more fun show, but I don't know how to integrate that into the show, right? I don't know how to integrate that into the show. I really don't. And the idea of me doing it for free is non-starter. So anyway, that's that. And then yeah, and yeah, 17 minutes past the show. 17 minutes past the show. 17 minutes past 3, getting towards the end of the show. Concatenated that into one sentence by accident there. So damn you, probability. Yes. Damn you, probability. I know, exactly, right? I know. Good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for the I love the plants as well. By the way, well, just a minute since we're talking about them. This one, that one is what's the year today? What's the year? The year's 2021. Should know this. That one is 17 or 18 years old. Not too sure. Or no, in terms of in my possession, I've had that for 17 or 18 years myself. Around about that. The plant which is in the corner, which is in the further away one, I've had since I was 5 years old. Since I was 5 years, it's over 30 years old. That plant, over 30 years old. And then the one in the middle was my grandmother's plant. This was my grandmother's plant. That I'm going to do squats. Yeah, we're not going to tune out before the squats. Was my grandmother's plant, and I've had that for the last 20 odd years. But I don't know. She died 20 years ago. So yeah, squat time, fantastic. When banging on them keys for us, Mr. Piano Man. Hey, that ain't happening. I get that. That's for women. Come on, up you get, right? We're going to do 10, we're going to do 11 squats here. It's bringing us to the end of the show. There's no room for escaping it. Thank you, Amber, by the way, thank you. I maybe could have forgotten. Squats to the end of the show, but how can we end when the thermal printer issue isn't solved? Is it even possible? It's nobody out there knows. Oh, well. Okay, well, it is what it is. Are you ready to do some squats? We've got 10 minutes of the show left. Right, we can do more TA and all the rest of it, but we're going to do squats together, right? 11 of them. I'm not the best. Just try. So all I'm asking is that you try. The gas phones in pockets makes it very, very hard. I don't know how good my form is, by the way. I find it very hard to do it. I love the plants even more. Oh, good. How many is that? Is that the third one? Is that the third? I don't know. Tallest 3, 4, 5, 6. Ass to the grass. 7, 8, 9, 10, and make this one a really good one. Bounce a little. And up. Excellent. Well done, everybody. All right, where's Waldo? Gave you a shout out yesterday, buddy, but I don't actually know if it was you. I think. You know how this goes. Don't let your knees pass your toes. Don't let your knees pass your toes. What does that mean? Sorry, man. No idea what that means. Squeeze those cheeks. Oh, Amber, I forgot. Just have to remind me tomorrow, right? Amber, salt, Amber, Sal, all the rest of you. You can remind me tomorrow. Squeeze your bum cheeks on the way back up. That's what you want to be doing. Ba, 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 ba. Just thinking here for a second. Sorry, I should have said what I was doing. Wow, that's a heck of a misprint. Apparently, oh no, that's not a misprint. That's just what happened then. I forgot. Can you remember that when the price of oil went to minus 40? That's actually not a misprint. That's what happened. Anyway, Trump kind of Adam Aaroned it by filling up the oil reserves at 25, 20, something like $30 or whatever. He filled up the oil reserves in America. Kind of Adam Aaroned it, if you like, in a sense. Could have done it at minus 40, but instead he did it there. Whoops. Joe Blob's Unreasonable Ghost. Aye. So that's cool. I think Joe was having a crack at the alerts. You should liaise with him. Oh, I should I? Cool. Nice one, Joe. Thanks. Nice one. That's cool. See you chatting in there. Thanks. It keeps pressure on your calves and ankles off your knees. The Ghost of Dennis. I have one Pam. It's about 5 years old. Almost killed it, but it's finally thriving. Oh, good. Nice one. Nice one. Hey. No problem, man. Right. So, yeah, we're done. I was going to make a clip about oil because I thought I should maybe make a clip about oil since oil's topical and I've been talking about it for a wee while, but kind of can't be bothered. There's also this. Kind of can't be bothered making a clip about this either. But of course, I'm the guy that longed Evergrande from $2.01. Was it $2.01? I'm not actually sure what I actually got in it. I should really check that, I suppose, shouldn't I? Right down here, though. Be like $2.10 or something like that I got in it. Two of these things. Yeah, so that's me. That's who I am. Funny stuff, funny times. Is there anything I can be bothered making a video about today? Pretty glad that I've managed to make it through at the end of the show. I could do another user submitted homework thing, but I think we'll save them for tomorrow, and the rest of the week. Despite the poll results, I don't think that we're going to be seeing things. Is what 87 is naked gone up again? Has it? Nice. No, it's not though, man. This is one of the ones I'm still wondering about. It's like, are we going to see this? We talked about this before anyway. Are we going to see these gaps sit on the charts as like sort of like regrettable charts gaps for everybody else's things? 24-hour time frame. I mean, yeah, you could trade it from here again if you're wanting to see this fill in that upper shadow there on it. But you know, this is live, ongoing, right here, right now. Has 87 represents more than simply just is it not? It's not 87. yeah, you'd need 87 to be support, but it's like 82. Then it's that cutoff area. I wonder. Just in times like this, when you're asking about that sort of thing, it's maybe just wise to kind of just to lean on something else. Like, yes, if you're looking to ride this right here, right now. Otherwise, what you need to do is cut it out, cut it quick, because the context of dropping down, it's like if 87 cents isn't the best buy price of the day, it means that the best buy price of the day is, at best 82. But probably something in the 70s or something like that, in which case you'd be well pissed off, So it's a question of that to look at for us. We're doing so well. It's hard to know in terms of it. It's hard to know as well. Look at the spread. Look at whatever spread that you're getting asked, because this is a penny stock, so you have to look over the spread on it. You could check One Up Coin. Oh, aye. Somebody asked me about One Up Coin and how it wasn't working. Oh, aye. Forgot all about that. Thanks. Was it yourself that asked me as well, Joe? I think it might have been. I think it was yourself that said it to me. Donation link, alert, view donations, alert platform, donation link. Can't reasonably do this, I don't think, myself. Let me just see though if I can. The way that the Tezos price has gone recently, would have been really cool had somebody from the Tezos community nominated me to get one of those Tezos community awards, which I've won one of in the last year. Last year and a half, got one of them, one. And they're giving out literally thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every month. And all it takes is for somebody in the Tezos community to nominate me to do it. And they've nominated me once. Just one time. So that would have been nice. It would have been nice, wouldn't it? But they never did it. Get 50 Tezos. That would be 300 quid at the minute. It's not much. It's just 300 quid. It's not much. It's not much. It's not like winning that every month would have been a big deal to the Tezos Foundation. For the only person that does TA on it, would have encouraged somebody else to do TA on it as well. But instead, it was only me, and nobody ever said it. So, or they did once. I mean, I asked them to as well. That's the other thing. I had to ask them to do it. It's pretty embarrassing by the Tezos people, by the way. Pretty embarrassing Tezos people, by the way. So yeah, did that one to yourselves. Anyway, this is taking too long. I'll do this off camera. I can't test it. I could test it, but I'll test it off camera. It's taking too long. I'm going to tune out before this is done, so I won't know. But you said that something had came up with some sort of authentic thing. You're right. It did. You said it to me. It happened. I believe you. This is what I mean with regards to how there just isn't any sort of like help really, to be honest with you. Does it say that I'm live right now? Because it should do. Oh, I guess there's just too many pro people are live right now for it to be that. Grand Theft Auto 5. All playing games. Is anybody doing TA? Just chatting. Let's go raid this just chatting person. Hydro. How many people she got in here watching? 81 people. Good stuff. I don't know why she's watching that though. So it's watching some advert or something. I don't want to watch adverts with her. Here she is. Well, she's better looking than I am, so she's got that going for her. Let's see what she talks about.
I could just like, man, I'm gonna start trolling these people that ask for nudes. I am. Yeah, send the money to my Venmo, and then I'm just gonna send them whatever I want to send them.
Good idea. Good idea. Good idea. Just ban them. Just ban them though, eh? Just ban them. I don't know what I'm doing here, so I'm going to tune out. That's great, excellent. If anybody wants to go and look at that person, they can. Tedro, there we go. Hello, Tedro. Hello. Oh, chat rules. Hello. So there you go. Twitch Tedro. There you go. Let's go stream raid that girl. And so that's that. I've said I'm sending folk your way. I put the link inside the chat, so go say hi to her if you want to. That'd be cool. I'm going to do the reverse roll call. Thanks so much for everybody tuning in today. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your donations. D Harker, Dan Lesage, Jamie, Trace One, thank you so much for that. Lepton and Gaston. Stay jacked, boys and girls. Thanks so much, Gaston. I didn't actually notice that one coming in at the time. Massively appreciated. Hope everybody has a fantastic day today. It's been great doing the clips. I'll see you all in Discord as ever. And good luck. Have fun saying hi to Tedro and all that. Thanks for tuning in. Ghost of Jiu-Jitsu's Past, Shikar, Amber, Dead Boy. Amber doesn't agree. Okay. Who is part of the elusive XDZ community? Lol. I don't know. Who is part of this elusive? I don't know. I did videos for it. I'm the only guy that ever did videos for it. Go and check out my videos. For instance, any Tezos video, below it there'll be somebody saying, "Man, I love your videos. Don't ever stop. Don't ever stop." And I say, "I'm committed. I'm going to keep going and doing it and all that." And you know I do. So whatever. But it's been a wee while since I've released them on his daily schedule, and there's a good reason for that. Thanks so much to everybody for tuning in. Thanks to you, Donnie. Thanks to you, Kyle. Thanks to you, Ape of Moon Street. All these people. There's a few people here who only really commented when I've got the non-subscriber button hit. So please do actually subscribe instead of coming in here. I would like to read out your comments. For instance, Ape of Moon Street. Maybe you could write to file in Python for each entry. Yes. Do could do that. I hope you're a subscriber here, Ape of Moon Street. I think I've read your name before, but it only seems to happen whenever I don't have the subscriber button chat enabled on chat. So, anyway, not seeing very many new names in here. It'd be nice to see some new names at some point. Anyway, much love to all of you. Go say hello to that bird. Tell her that we love her and to keep up the good work. And I'll see all of you next time when I tune back in tomorrow for more of the same stuff. Try and bring it as ever. I don't know, today's show, was it a good one? Was it not a good one? I don't know. If donations are anything to go by, it was gash, but we'll see. Who cares? Much love to everybody. I always just keep consistent. Who knows, man? I mean, I used to do this and nobody would watch them at all, so just keep consistent. And gosh, I just love you so much. I'm so goddamn proud of everybody that's done a video so far, that's done the homework. I'm so proud of you. They've done so well. Bloody brilliant. Keep it up. Always good stuff. Much love. See you in the Discord. Catch you later.